Here's the thing. The pain, the frustration is showing up for a reason. You're not getting what you want, but there could be a really good reason why that door is closed to you right now. What you have to do is sit with those feelings and ask them questions. Find out what kind of blessing they're really offering. It's possible that what feels like the worst thing to you right now could truly open the door to one of your greatest successes, one of your greatest joys, because that's just how life works. That's how time works. We have to allow the story to unfold without jumping to conclusions, without labeling things as good or bad before we really know how they're going to play out. So this reading today is all about looking at alternative possibilities, looking at different ways the story might play out that were unexpected. All about looking at how this frustrating situation can really turn things around for you if you're willing to take a second look. So what's going on here? It looks to me like you are following your intuition, which I will commend you for, and working on some kind of passion project, actually, trying to give birth to something unique and creative that really comes from your heart and soul. And probably what's happening is that you're frustrated that it doesn't seem to be manifesting as quickly as you'd like it to, that success, you haven't seen that success yet. Maybe you were told and maybe you believe that following your heart and following your happiness will lead you to success and lead you to financial gain. And these things may be true. They may not be true. But either way, that doesn't mean that they're not worth it. I will say that. But yeah, when we don't see that immediate payoff that we were expecting, it can be incredibly frustrating. And you think, is any of this worth it? Have I made the wrong decision? And that's where you're at right now. The 10 and the 9 of Cups are both great cards. Cards about wish fulfillment, making your dreams come true, realizing your greatest potential for happiness and fulfillment. So those are great cards to see in a reading like this. The message is that it will pay off if you stick with it. So what is the Lovers telling us here then? Number one, that you really have to do it for the love of the game and not for the outcome. Whether or not this ever pays off, you do it because you feel truly passionate about it. And it's sort of a paradox. It's one of those enigmas of life, a self-fulfilling prophecy, if you will, that it can only pay off if you're willing to do it whether or not it ever pays off. You know what I mean? If you're in it for the wrong reasons, you might never get there. You're more likely to give up on the way before you've realized success, before you've made it to the end of that path. The only thing that can keep you going is a true love for what you do. But I would also say there's more than that to this Lovers card, and we are going to dig in deeper to this, because the Lovers card is also all about integrating those sides within yourself, this creative side and the side that imposes structure on your world. And my guess, but we will look at the cards, is that perhaps that integration is not quite complete yet. That might be where we still have some more work to do. So for this, I'll pull out the good old Rider-Waite deck just to get some really clear answers about this need for integration and this work that is yet undone. Let's see if my intuition is correct here. Okay, this looks like the first chapter. What I see is that there's this lack of resources, as I already mentioned. It's not paying off as quickly as we had hoped. Um, the success, the money, the recognition, whatever it is that we were looking for, isn't coming in yet. And that's really throwing us for a loop. We're feeling really desperate. We're feeling like we might just have to give up on the whole thing. We're really feeling the constraints, the everyday constraints on us. Our needs, financial and otherwise, are weighing on us. And I think we think that we can, or at least we thought we could, will our way to the success that we were imagining. And we're finding it's not quite that easy. What I mean by that is that we had some kind of image in our mind about what needed to be done. This very matter of fact, plan. We'll implement the plan. It's easy, it's algorithmic. But what that's showing me is that there was sort of a lack of, I don't know how to explain this Page of Swords reversed. I want to say that clearly it didn't work out the way we thought, number one. Number two, there's sort of a lack of curiosity. We thought we knew. We thought we knew the way, so we weren't thinking outside the box enough. Like I said, this is chapter 1. So let's look at chapter 2. What would it look like to get curious, to take a second stab at this, to not give up on this despite our desperation, despite it looking like it's not going to pay off? What would it look like to try again, round 2? Right off the bat, it's interesting to me that the Magician and the Fool are here bookending, and they're both reversed. What I'm getting from that is kind of what I was saying, that we have to go into chapter 2 not thinking that we know everything, not thinking that we already know the way. The Magician reversed, I'm almost getting a Fool energy, you know what I mean? Going in as a novice, wiping the slate clean and being willing to sort of see where it takes us, see where the mood takes us, see where the river flows, go with the flow, Queen of Cups. And to continue to feel secure in knowing that as we're following our passion and our heart, and if we're in it for the right reasons, that we will get somewhere stable, that there will be a payoff and a reason to celebrate in the long run. And that we might enter this chapter with the humility that allows us to say, okay, fine. It turns out I didn't know. I didn't know how to take these steps forward. But by the end of the chapter, we will have learned something. We won't be the novice, the fool. I need clarification on the Fool. The Fool reversed ending this chapter. What is that trying to tell us? All right, this makes things much more clear to me. What this looks like, the Fool reversed at the end of this chapter, is that we will know ourselves better than we did before. Therefore, we will know our work better than we did before. And what we can do is draw people in to us through that emotion, through that heart-centeredness. Instead of looking outward, instead of crunching the numbers, looking at the algorithms, planning based on things we've seen other people do, will really allow our work to flow even more from the heart, and really allow our people to find us instead of us constantly reaching out to find who we think our people are, our audience, our clientele, our market. We remain open-minded, but we're no longer novices, because what we've learned is less about the world and more about ourselves. And that is going to infuse our work with an extremely authentic message, a genuine resonance. Then what? Is there a chapter 3? Will we see a payoff? What is the ultimate lesson? Hell yeah, we'll see a payoff. Hell yeah, we're going to reach that stable point where we have so much to celebrate. We'll grow a legacy, lasting prosperity. We'll be able to stop wondering, well, what about this? What about that? Sending our mental energy here, there, and every which way. It'll be much more centered, grounded, like I said. And then, frankly, I'd like to see some clarification on this Queen of Pentacles, because with the reversal, sometimes it can mean that there's something we need to keep in mind, a warning, a caution. Okay, and in this case, we get the Four of Pentacles and the Six of Cups reversed. That warning, that caution is that if we hold on to that we've gained, that money or that recognition or that material payoff, whatever it is that we've gained, if we hold on to it too tightly, if we overvalue it, we could risk losing it all. The universe, holding on to something too tightly is going to staunch the flow of it. In other words, the universe will be less generous with its gifts if we ourselves are not generous with those gifts with others. So again, it's really important to make sure that we're in it for the right reasons. We can't call it following our heart and following our passion if what we're really interested in is just the monetary value that will flow from it. That paradox. It's that paradox. It'll only pay off if we're genuinely pursuing it, even if it doesn't pay off. Because when we're too focused on the payoff, it may never come. We may get frustrated before we ever get there and give up that tower from chapter 1. So what is the universe trying to tell us right now by making us aware of this frustration? This frustration is not a bad thing. It's just one step on the journey. It must be worked through. It has messages for us. It has warnings for us. It has promises for us. It's a struggle and a challenge that we must face and overcome. It's not unexpected. It was fully expected. If you didn't expect it, then you weren't thinking. You didn't have your eye on the ball. So I'd like to leave you with a final message from the Tarot of the She, which I got a brand new deck, by the way. I replaced my old Tarot of the She deck, which was so well loved. It was looking a little rough. So excited to have this brand new one because this is one of my favorite decks that I've ever owned. And the message that it will leave us with today then is go on this journey. You will get to know yourself, but don't think you know it all right now. It's okay. It's a learning process. Take it one day at a time and don't worry at all about the destination.